Our next example is going to be using the perspective grid. Okay, so what I'm going to do again is just create a new layer. I'm going to name that perspective grid. And I'm just going to bring back my guides. I'm going to draw out my background shape. And my background shape for this, I'm just going to leave it to be black. And again, I'm going to grab my type tool. And this time I'm going to make my type white. And I'm going to actually type out the full word this time. So I'm going to type out graphic design. But what I'm going to do is type it this way. So I'm going to put GRA on one line, hit enter or return, put PHIC on another line, then put DESI on another line, and GN on the last line. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in on that. So they're pretty close together. So what I'm going to do is hold down the Option key and the down arrow to increase the leading. Now the leading is a bit different in this last line here. So I'll grab my type tool. I'll just highlight that last line and then hold Option and the up arrow key. Just kind of eyeball that leading just a bit, just like that. And lastly, I'll select this and I'm going to go up to my paragraph panel. And what I'm going to do is align it to the right. Okay, so right align it. Next, what I'm going to do is hold down the Option key and copy this. So Option and Shift, and then go to my paragraph panel again, and this time just left align it. So I'm going to make those go side by side. And this side here, I'm actually going to make it be a shade of gray. So maybe I'll make it be this 20% gray. Okay, because what I'm going to do is use the perspective grid to almost give it sort of a 3D effect, but I want one side to look like a shadow and the other side to look like there's a light source pointing off of it. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I'll just select these, and then maybe I'll just scale them up a little bit, okay, and just have them placed over here in the meantime. So now what I'm going to do is apply my perspective grid. So I'm going to go over to my toolbox. I'm going to grab the perspective grid from here, which is Shift plus the letter P. Okay, now it might show up on a different artboard. So I'm just going to zoom out and see it shows up on this artboard here. To move it to another artboard, you're just going to grab it from its ground line right here and just click and drag and move it over to the artboard which you want it to be applied to. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, so now I'm just going to select my grid again. So now I can adjust this grid from various points here. So what I can do is grab my perspective grid tool again. And now from each of these bottom points here, right? So this blue line is my left grid. So I can adjust that anyhow I like. So I'll just make that out a bit more. This orange line is my right grid. So I can position that where I like it to go. Okay, so I could have them meeting. And then this bottom one, right, my ground level, I can raise it above if I want to kind of see underneath this. All right. And then the top one, I can expand it if I wanted to move it upwards. Okay, so again, just kind of zoom out a little bit. I'm just going to drag it down, something like that. And then I'll expand this one a bit taller. Now, to apply the text or any object to your perspective grid, you're going to actually select your perspective selection tool. So you're going to hold down this tool here for 1 second and then select perspective selection tool, or Shift plus V. I'm going to select the first set of type here, and you'll see automatically it goes to my left plane. Okay, but if I want to activate that, I'm just going to type the number 1, okay, and that selects my left plane. So that makes that active. So what I'm going to do is just place that there, and then I can actually scale it up to fit the entire side. And then I'm going to select my other object or type, and see how it's trying to put it on the first plane now. If I have it still active, so my mouse is still clicking in a down state, I'm just going to type the number 3, and that activates my right plane. So now I'm just going to place in the top corner there, and then again scale that up. Remember to hold Shift when you're scaling. Okay, and I'm just going to sort of like match them up a little bit as best as I can. So like around there. Okay, so just grab my perspective grid. Okay, and I'm going to take my line tool and I'm just going to draw a couple lines off the top here. All right, just for like some visual interest. Okay, I'll make that line maybe 1 point and I'll make it white. Okay, and then I'll grab another line and just maybe kind of do like the same thing. Okay, but this time maybe just a little bit longer. All right, you can grab your direct selection tool and just click on one end of it and just like adjust the lines so that they kind of follow that perspective grid. And then grab my selection tool, select both, and maybe just nudge them down a bit. And I'll just grab another set, maybe do the same thing for underneath. So maybe just around like under the letter N here. Something like that. And then just grab another one. And I'm just going to grab my direct selection tool one more time, click on the ends, and just sort of align them to that perspective grid. Okay, because when I drew it, it just wasn't lining up. So I'll move those a little bit closer. Okay, so again, you can just kind of play with the placement of them until you get it to look how you like or be positioned how you like. And then just to hide the perspective grid now, just go back to your view menu. You can go down to perspective grid and then choose hide grid or shift command I, and that hides it. Then I could select all these lines and my type. I'll group them together, so command G. And then I'm just going to position these. And then again, I could just scale them up. Just have kind of like my focal point right in here. And then I'll deselect. And then again, I could take my type tool. Again, make this 18 points. Light. This time I'll make it white. And then type perspective grid. With Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so again, you can kind of scale these up anyhow you wish. Maybe just create some more spacing for them. Okay, then hit save. Just take a preview of it. I'm just holding on the tab key just to kind of see what this looks like. And that's how you use the perspective grid.